Hey, folks, this is Book Talk with Corbin. I'm your host. I want to bring to your attention a chess book. It was published a few years back called Chess Rumble by Gneri. It's the spelling of the author's last name, and illustrated by Jesse Joshua Watson. It's a good one. I really like the illustrations, very powerful illustrations, and I like the way it's written. It really sort of speaks to the cadence, the style. It really speaks to a lot of urban black youth, particularly young black males. And this is a good book to share with them, to help them draw more black men, young black men, into the chess community, and also to help young black men to start sort of seeing themselves more as a potential rapper, entertainer, musician, dancer, someone who is really engaged in what I would call intellectual sports. And Chess Rumble really speaks to that, really speaks to a lot of their experiences in the urban areas. Look, folks, let's face the facts. Most chess clubs are predominantly white, more likely done by white males. And most organizations, they have a tendency, or most organizations, institutions have a tendency to perpetuate themselves. In other words, they're started in a particular way, then they'll keep perpetuating, bringing in more folk who look like them, act like them, have the same experiences. And that's not bad. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not to say there's anything evil about that. But it's the reason why you have so few young black men involved in chess clubs. It's really important that the leadership, when you start a chess club, you have at the leadership level black men, and they in turn, through their network, they can bring in other black folk, particularly young black men. You have that with Coach E. Coach E has a great chess club going on. And Coach E, he connects with black males, with Latino males. He connects with them, and he's brought in many. As a matter of fact, he's served as the private coach, one of the best scholastic chess players in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. That young man's name is Donovan. We call him Chess Master D. And he's a young black man. The young boy, he's killing it. And again, his private coach was Coach E, a brother. And before that time, he was brought into the chess community, or introduced to chess through Coach Layla, a black woman. So this kind of things that you see, that's not coincidence. It's just the way it often happens. When I got involved with chess back in 2010, it was basically was my profession. It's how I made my money, organizing tournaments, teaching, etc. And before that time, I saw very few black youth, very few black youth involved in chess throughout the Louisville community. So I was like, what's going on here? Because I brought my daughter in, and my daughter, she enjoyed it. She really benefited from playing chess a lot. And so I said, well, this, she enjoys it. She's getting great benefit from it. So I wanted to go out and do my part in getting more black youth involved, because the other white organizations, predominantly white organizations, they weren't doing it. I mean, they just weren't doing it. It wasn't like they put up some policy, we don't want black folk involved. But I tell you this, at the same time, they weren't actively trying to get black folk involved. They weren't doing it. And I had one person who's a twit, say some things to me. I'll never forget one time this person said to me, let's wait a couple of years before we go into West Louisville. Why? If this is something it's obviously of great benefit to young people, if this is something that young people really enjoy, and for the most part, they do, why do we have to wait before we go into West Louisville? Why wait? And, the reason to me was obvious, but I just made the conscious decision. I'm not going to fight it. I'm not going to fight it. The history of black folk in the United States has always been, okay, fine. If I can't get into, your sports leagues, then I'll create my own. And that's what I did. I just created opportunities to get more and more young black folk involved, particularly young black males, and it's been working. It's been working time and time again. And I'm proud to, and I'm going to keep on doing it. As a matter of fact, a great leader in the chess community recently talked to me and said, hey, man, how can we get more youth of color involved in chess? And he asked me not because I'm some great, fantastic, chess player, but because he's seen my track record. And I'm going to call him out. His name is Daryl Mott. That he's in the leadership of the Kentucky Chess Association. I cannot tell you how happy I am about that, because that brother is serious about bringing more groups of folk into chess. He didn't care about your skin color. He didn't care about your ethnicity. He didn't care about your language, your mother's tongue, what I call your mother's tongue. He don't care. You have an interest in chess? Daryl's going to want to bring you in and keep you in. That's just the way Daryl is. Hey, you think somebody over here in this community in South Louisville might be interested in learning more about chess and the benefits of chess and the sport of chess? Hey, Daryl will be there. If Daryl can't be there, he'll send somebody down there. That's just the way he is. So I want to give a shout out to people like Coach E, Coach Daryl, Coach Steve. He's another brother who's been in chess for a long time, and he's done everything he can do to bring more black folk and Latino into the Louisville chess community. I'm not here to bash people over the head to say, oh, you're a racist, you're not a racist. I'm not into that. What I am saying to a lot of black chess players, hey, we need to do our part in bringing more black and Latino folk, more students of color into the sport, and we just need to go out there and make it happen. And thank God we got brothers like Coach E and Coach Daryl doing just that, and Coach Steve doing just that. So let me go back to this book, Chess Rumble. Man, it's put out a few years ago, and it really speaks to the experience of so many black males in urban areas. And it's a good book. It's a good one for them to read and to start seeing how they can be connected to the sport of chess and all. As many of you know, I'm the coach of the West Louisville Chess Club. I also the executive director of the Kentucky Chess Ambassadors, a nonprofit organization. And I am going to start reaching out one-on-one to some black males and say, hey, let's get together, once or twice a week, and let's read this book together. And also, teach them a little chess as well. This is a good one. I know that this book has been used once before in some programs, and I think they stopped using it because there was some strong language here and there. But to be perfectly honest with you, the language used here, it's not entirely unknown. Let's put it that way, unknown to a lot of black males in the urban area. I will say this, I would encourage parents to check it out. It's not going into inappropriate things about gender or talking or saying to young people about how it's okay for them to get into being deceitful and being ignorant and confused about their sexuality. It's not going there. That's not appropriate for me as a chess instructor to be talking about sexuality, gender, etc. to young people. Really, that's downright sick and immoral as far as I'm concerned. That's for the parents. I absolutely, positively respect parental authority. Parents don't send their kids to me, and I quietly, secretly talk to these young people about sex and gender and all this other kind of nonsense. That's for the parents to do that. Parents send their loved ones, their sons and their daughters to me to learn about chess. And they do that. Hey, they want their kids to learn about chess so their kids hopefully as the skills that chess sort of teaches young people, regardless of the color of their skin, also helps them do better in math and reading. So, that's what I do. But Chess Rumble doesn't get into crazy stuff like that. It doesn't have in here adult porno sites. And people say, well, why are you bringing up adult porno sites? Yeah, there's some books in the public library system, and they cite in one of these books at elementary school libraries that give the address for an adult porno site. It's a fact, and that type of nonsense. I'd never do anything like that. I give you my assurance. I'm not going to stand up and say, "Ooh, I'm a black man. I'm a Christian. It's okay, and it's okay for me to share books, to give books to young people with an adult porno site in it." Are you kidding me? That's sick. My father would come from the grave and beat me with a stick. And it's something I just find unconscionable. But anyway, Chess Rumble's nothing like that. It's a good book. I think it's a good one to share with black youth, particularly young black males. And it's something I am going to be doing. So if you have some parents out there who say, hey, I'd love for my son to sort of be tutored by you one-on-one, small group, for them to learn about chess and also to read this book, Chess Rumble, contact me and we'll start making arrangements. So again, Chess Rumble, it's a good book. I'm going to try to be writing about it in my blog. You can go to kychessambassadors.com and sign up for my blog, and I will be talking about that book there, Chess Rumble. If you are a black chess coach, black male or female chess coach, I highly recommend that you get this book and you incorporate it in your program. You can get it at Better World Books. Better World Books. You can go whatever search engine you use and go to Better World Books, and you can get copies of it there. I got copies of it. I got 2 right now. I'm literally looking at my 2 copies. I know I used to have one other copy, and I've misplaced it somewhere in these boxes of books I have all over this apartment. But you can go to Better World Books and get you some copies. So I wanted to get that out there, and just thank you again for giving me an opportunity to talk about things that are really near and dear to my heart, the development, academic and intellectual development of young black men, talk about chess, and talk about books.